Hi, my name is Nonima Tikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about something that happened initially. When you get into today's proceedings, it was just, hey, Ubaloyi Nkosi yami. Now, he started reading the pro forma ekuqaleni nje, from the beginning. And I think even if it was not at the beginning straight, but my God, let me just say to you, welcome to another perfectly normal day in court. Perfectly normal day in court, where procedures are followed, rules are respected, and everything is done by the book. Until someone asks a very simple question: was there an interpreter? Okay, okay, izinto nje ezikanjalo. Anyway, just like that, then everything will shift. What looked like a clean structural confession starts to crack. So, because in a courtroom, that's not a small detail, that's a foundation, right? Now, let's get into this the perfect confession. All right, let's look into this. The state presents what appears to be a textbook process, a formal statement, justice of peace, rights explained, everything documented. And then we hear language like in his sound and sober senses, no undue influence. He understands his rights. It reads clean. It sounds lawful. It looks solid. But the cross examination begins and reality starts shifting. Right now, let's talk about the first crack. Because in what Baloyi was reading, the officer says only the deponent and I were in the office. Ne? No, only the interpreter and itinalento, only the deponent and the interpreter were in the office. Hmm? It sounds simple. Whether it was the interpreter, hey, it sounds simple, clear, but then another version appears. Ne? Uthe Kala, ne? Only the deponent and I were in the office. I think so. And then suddenly another version appears. The interpreter and I were in the office and nobody else. Utini, Utini, wait. Which one is it? What's going on? And then now the question becomes, was there an interpreter or not? Because both cannot be true. And in law, that contradiction is not cosmetic. It's uh, it's not. It's not comedic at all. It's structural. Do you understand? And this is a legal problem now for this so-called uh, statement or so-called what you call confession guidance under section 35 of the constitution of South Africa. An accused person has the right to understand proceedings, be informed of their rights, communicate effectively. If a language is an issue, an interpreter is mandatory, not optional. So now the court must confront a dangerous question. Did the accused fully understand what was happening? Because if the answer is unclear, the confession itself becomes questionable. These are the things that Judge Rata was avoiding. These are the things that Ujed Rata was avoiding. Now there was escalation. The officer's response is somehow. Then comes the explanation. I asked him. He spoke before I could start. Now pause there, because this is where the ground starts moving. It starts moving. Was the decision about language properly assessed, formally recorded, or just assumed in the moment? Because if it was assumed, then the entire rights explanation process is compromised. Because Ntanzi is a Zulu speaking person, Rapadu is Hitswana or Pedi? I'm not quite sure, but between those Rapadu, he's either Tswana or Pedi? If not Soto, I don't know. I don't know the difference. Now I'm closer, but I know that Untanzi is Zulu. So there is some language issues there. Now the real battle will become, was this voluntarily? In South African law, a confession must be voluntarily, informed, understood, not properly, not probably understood, not seemed, fine, proven. So if there's confusion about language, there's confusion about what was explained, what was understood, what was actually agreed to. And that creates one thing, reasonable doubt. Now, this confession is met with all of that. Now, the defense strategy is let's expose the defense strategy. This is not random questioning. This is surgical. The defense is doing four things: attacking the process, exposing inconsistencies, raising doubts about fairness, targeting the foundation of the confession, because they don't need to prove the confession is false. They only need to show it may not be reliable. Now, if the court finds interpreter presence is unclear, rights explanation inconsistent, procedure questionable, then the confession is no longer clean. Nope, it can't be clean. It becomes legally unsafe. And once that happens, the state loses its strongest weapon, which is the so-called confession. This is how cases don't collapse loudly. They collapse quietly, not with one big explosion, but with a small contradiction that exposes a bigger truth. The procedure wasn't followed the way it should have been. And in court, procedure is everything, because you don't want to seem as if you are doing things, you need to be doing them. And you don't win a case with assumptions, you win it with proof. And today, one question simply may have just, one simple question may have just shaken that proof. Was there an interpreter or not? Because now it reads, but there was an interpreter, and then Ubaloyi comes and explains that no, actually, Rapatu did tell us that there was no interpreter. But why is the statement, the so-called statement, writing there was an interpreter? What's going on? Do you see now all of that is bringing doubt to the so-called statements on its own now? That is how bad the entire situation becomes. So I don't know, man. I don't know. We will see what's going to happen, but things are not looking good. That was the first crack. That was the first crack, and things went south very fast. Things went south very fast. It was not even funny, if I can tell you. It was not even funny, Mdasekai. Uvele kwaba kubi, and Ubaloyi, I think from there, things went left. From left, they went down. That was everything coming. They went left, and then from left, they went down the hill, and everything rolled then. Imagine, we are not even halfway the statement, but the stones are rolling down. The stones are rolling down from the mountain, and it's bad. I don't know how Baloyi is going to deal with this, but it's not looking good, guys. That I can promise you. What are your thoughts when it comes to this? Because right now, the interpreter issue, wow, it was not a red flag. It was a red flag. It was a red quill. It was a red curtain. It was a red sheets, red bedding, red bedroom, red dining room. It was red everything. And from there, everything became so red that you can, it was Japan. Everything became Japan, Kengo. That's how bad it is. What are your thoughts? Let's talk in the comment section. I want to hear your views. Thank you so much. Do enjoy your day. Bye-bye.